Zaffa Books presents Lily's War, written by Shirley Mann and read by Lucy Dixon. This audiobook is brought to you by Memory Lane, a special community for the very best saga writing from authors you know and love, and new ones we can't wait for you to meet. Join us today at memorylane.club. Chapter 1. Manchester, 1942. The knitting was the last straw. Lily cast off the end stitch, measured the uneven grey sock against its partner, and made a decision. There had to be something better she could do towards the war effort than knitting irregular socks for soldiers. She tried to pull them to the same length, but gave up, throwing them in the knitting basket in disgust. "I just hope that Tommy's got one leg shorter than the other," she muttered to herself. Lily looked around at the morning room of her parents' terraced house in Manchester. It was the only vaguely warm room in the house, with the black range struggling to keep an ember alive in a pathetic reminder of the blazing fires of pre-war days. She fingered the tassels on the dark green damask tablecloth next to the armchair she was curled up in. So often as children, she and her brother, Don, had peered through them from the other side, hiding from the haunting cry of the rag-and-bone man. She had been frightened then. That was before she knew real fear. The room needed decorating. It looked as tired as the family did, she thought. The thermos was upright on a chair next to the table, standing to attention, waiting to be filled with tea at bedtime in case the sirens went off, forcing them to leave their warm beds to take refuge in the Anderson shelter in the garden. The pale cream blankets were on the chair next to it, neatly folded. The candles lay expectantly in their box, the matches on top. They were all becoming experts at this. Lily's shoulders drooped, and she gave a heartfelt sigh. It was the same story every night, waiting for the drone of the planes, wondering whether that night would be their last. "Mum!" she called into the back kitchen. "Yes, dear?" her mum replied, putting a tiny spoonful of valuable honey into the cake she was making. She'd saved all her rations for this cake, and she needed to concentrate. "I'm going to sign up." "Yes, dear." Lily went into the tiny cold room at the back of the house, pushing past her 13-year-old brother, Don. Still in school uniform, he was hovering near the mixing bowl on the stone slab, dipping his finger in when his mother was not looking. "No, really. I'm going to volunteer. I'm fed up with just doing fire watch duty. If I don't do this now, by next year it could all be over, and I'll have missed my chance." "Miss your chance to get killed, you mean?" Her dad appeared behind her, struggling, as usual, to light his pipe. "Everyone's already gone." Lily ignored him and held out her hand for the honey-smeared spoon. Her mother automatically handed it over the head of her disappointed son and watched Lily lick the silver utensil free of every last vestige of honey. Lily's shoulder-length hair suddenly caught the late afternoon sun's rays, reflecting the golden shimmer from the liquid. Like many times recently, the tall, assured 19-year-old in front of Ginny took her breath away. She towered above her mother now, and Ginny noticed with pride how Lily's casual shirt, tucked into the waistband of a navy skirt, showed off her neat figure. It was a shame they could not buy her a new shirt, though, Ginny thought. The repeated darns and mends were becoming obvious. "No, Lily, you're doing well at liners. With everyone else gone, Mr. Spencer is relying on you more and more, and you've got a real chance to make something of yourself. You've still got another year before you'd be called up." "I've already made something of myself," Lily said with a grin. "I was the back end of a horse in the Rusholme Panto 3 years on the run, remember? No one can beat that for achievement." "War's ugly," her dad butted in, but didn't say any more. John Mullins was a great war veteran whose memories of Gallipoli still gave him nightmares, details of which he had never shared before, and he was not about to start now. John squeezed past the 3 members of his family and banged his pipe against the side of the Belfast sink to blot
Sample complete. Ready to continue?